Hi, everybody. Thanks so much for being here today. My name is Emily Sopo, and I am a Myzone Master Trainer as well as Senior Account Manager for Myzone. And we are pumped for episode 2 of Power Play Friday. Waiting for a few more folks to hop in. I know that several of you are here already, and thank you so much for being here today. Just a couple logistical items. If you scroll over the Zoom app or program, at the bottom you should see a Q&A section, and I would love to see what questions you might have today. So please feel free at any point, even if you just want to say hello, I'm here, let me know what questions do you have either already right now or what questions come up throughout this presentation. These Power Play Fridays are quick 10-15 minute presentations. We are recording all of them and then posting them on our different platforms. So the first one is the Myzone Club Operators Facebook group. If you're not a member of that group, definitely go onto Facebook and request access, because we're going to be posting a lot of these as well as other resources there. And we have a bunch of other things coming out soon, so definitely stay tuned as a Myzone Club operator. All right, I'd love to know if, which group did you just say? You just missed it. The Myzone Club Operators group. It's on Facebook. So cool. All right, so that's one quick one, the Q&A. The other thing, I would love for you to share your cues that you like to use in regard to Myzone during your classes. So you can also post those in the Q&A section as well, and I'll share those throughout. All right, awesome. So before we dive in today, a little bit of background here. Today we're going to be talking about Myzone talking points for small group training coaches. And as you know, as Myzone Club operators, it is so important for our fitness staff to not just understand Myzone, but also to be advocates for it and to be able to speak to it and include it in their vocabulary and their cueing during class. So that's what today is all about. As a former fitness instructor and personal trainer, I know that we've got so many different things to be focusing on during our sessions that we want to have simple little snippets, easy cues that we can start to incorporate in order to really bring Myzone into the session. The other thing I want to say is that, as you all know, Myzone is all about making exercise fun and helping people to feel good about exercise before, during, and after the actual workout. So let's frame up this session like this. All of these cues and talking points are designed to help your members feel good about exercise. And as you're brainstorming what different ways are going to work for you to talk about Myzone during your classes or your staff's classes, come at it from that perspective. How can I make them feel more successful, more autonomous over their own body, their own exercises, their own fitness level? And that's going to help to set you up for success. All right, let's go ahead and dive right in. Okay, there we go. So this is just a quick list here of the different talking points that we'll go over, but we're going to dive into them in a lot more detail next. All right, so the first one, what is Myzone? I would always start a small group training session or group fitness class really with this. What is Myzone, right? Now, if you have a small group training session where you have the same people coming over and over again, like it's a closed group, you don't have to do this every time, right? But it really does make sense, especially if you have anybody new during a class, to talk about what is Myzone. So an example would be like, today we're going to track our effort using the Myzone wearable technology. Or Myzone's going to hold us accountable today. We're going to see our live effort tile up on the screen, and I'll be cueing you as to the target zones that I want you to hit throughout today's workout. Simple enough, right? I'd also give a tile rundown, an example or explanation of what the tiles mean, right? So of course you can just say, behind me, there'd be a Myzone screen behind me, right? Behind me you can see your effort tile. It's going to show your nickname, how many calories you burned today. It's going to show us your heart rate, your Myzone effort points, which are a point system based on your personal effort. It's going to show us your effort in that big number there in the middle, and it's going to give us our target zone. It's also, if you're doing a zone match class, going to show how closely you are adhering to the target zones, and that's called your zone match percentage or your zone match score, and your members will also see that there on the screen. So that's a quick rundown. Another thing you can talk about are why MEPs matter, why we should use them as a metric of success. So for instance, you're gonna earn MEPs based on your own personal effort today. And unlike with calories or heart rate, we can't really compare those between people, right? But we can compare MEPs because they're based on how you personally work. So at the end of class today, who has ever earned the most MEPs, we know worked the hardest based on their own personal effort. Now, if you're not motivated by comparing MEPs between different people, you want to focus more on your personal effort and how hard you've worked, compare how many MEPs you earn today versus how many MEPs you earn in your next workout. And over time, we want to see those trends so we can understand if you are hitting your targets to achieve your goals, right? Okay. A couple other talking points that I would include: a preview of the class structure based around color. So this is one of the ways where we're setting our clients up for success. Give them a preview of what's to come and base it around the target zones. Because the idea is if they know what's to come and then they hit that goal, they feel good, right? Making them feel good about exercise. If they don't hit the target zone, then that's another talking point you can educate them on. Why maybe they didn't hit it? Do they need to increase their speed or resistance? What is it to help them be more successful? So an example would be if you're doing HIIT, you might say during our next 30-second work phase, we're going to push into the yellow zone. If you feel good, I want you to even try to touch red, just if you feel good enough to do it. And then during our 30-second recovery, I want you to recover down and try to hit the green zone. Even if it's just breathe, I want to see green on that screen before we push again, right? Another example of previewing the class structure would be if you're doing some sort of drill based around color, like a roller coaster. So for example, with a roller coaster, we're going to start in the gray zone. We're going to gradually work our way up from gray to blue to green to yellow. We'll briefly touch red, and then we'll come back the other way. And I've selected exercises that are going to help you to hit those target zones, right? Another key talking point is setting MEPs goals. So in this class, you're going to earn between 125 and 175 MEPs. Now I want to pause there and say this. If you are building classes within the Myzone system, you can actually see how many MEPs your members will earn if they are hitting the target zones exactly. What I choose to do oftentimes is give them a range and make sure that that range covers what I think they'll be able to hit successfully and what I think they're going to really have to push to hit. So an example of 125 to 175, I'm going to pretty much know that everybody can hit 125, making them feel more motivated and feel good like they've hit that target. And then 175 might be a stretch, but it's probably going to be doable for some of the people in the class. That's my own personal method, just to give them a bit of a guideline, a bit of a goal, so that they feel good when they do hit that, but they also know if they have room to improve. Another thing you can do as far as MEPs goals go is to set MEPs goals for specific drills. This can be really fun. It can be really engaging. An example would be like, in the next 5 minutes, we're going to earn 20 MEPs. Everybody's going to earn 20 MEPs, everybody in class. Or, you know, collectively, we're all going to earn 100 MEPs, depending on how many people you have in class over the next 5 minutes. Just give them some structure, give them some ideas, some goals to hit for themselves. Another really awesome talking point, and one of the reasons why I personally, as an instructor, love Myzone is because it allows us to really talk about the importance of recovery. And recovery is often overlooked, as many of us know, right? It's something that isn't talked about a lot. This idea that we have to push ourselves every single workout, work really, really hard up to our max effort every time, that's just not something that is really going to serve our members very well. So being able to tell them and to show them recovery is key. So an example of a talking point around recovery would be, during our HIIT workout today, take note of how quickly your heart rate recovers down toward whatever zone, toward gray, toward blue, toward resting. You insert your language there. The faster your heart rate drops, the more efficient your heart, and a more efficient heart is a healthier heart. So over time, as you keep coming to my class and keep working out with me, you're going to expect, or you can expect to see, a faster drop down toward your resting level, right? Not only is it giving them a goal to hit over time, a trend to strive for, but it's also validating how you've taught your sessions, your programming, that they should keep coming back to you because it's another metric that they can see improving as they work out. All right, another talking point that I would definitely recommend is different zones for different exercises, and talking about why it's important or why it's appropriate to aim for certain zones during certain exercises. If you have worked out with Myzone and done different types of workouts, you know that different workouts are going to impact your zones differently, right? A deadlift is going to impact you very differently from a burpee, different from a dead bug, different from a plank. It really can be across the board. But our members don't necessarily know that. And so being able to educate them on that and talk about why what they're doing is appropriate and why they're hitting certain zones, that can really help them to better understand their own body and set goals for themselves. So for example, if they're doing burpees, right, you can say burpees are super plyometric, you're gonna be working your full body, so try to hit the yellow or the red zone, right? And that's okay, that's what they should aim for. On the flip side of that, if they're doing something that's more isometric, fewer major muscle groups, maybe it's a multi or single joint exercise, right, where they're not using as much, their heart rate's not going to increase as much, then you can say something like, you're going to see your tile drop toward the blue, maybe even the gray zone during this exercise, during this plank. Even though your body is shaking, your heart doesn't have to beat as fast during an isometric plank. So if you see your target zone drop, or you see your effort tile drop down, that's okay. You're exactly where you need to be. Sometimes it's just about giving them the expectation of where they should be so that they know that they're doing it right. Another key talking point is the benefits of excess post-exercise oxygen consumption. Now, you don't have to talk about this, but this is an example, right? There's so many different ways to train and different benefits for the types of training out there. So maybe if you're doing higher intensity exercise, like high intensity interval training, you can talk about EPOC. If you're doing strength training, talk about the benefits of strength, right? You can insert your own benefits and type of workout here, but an example that's really popular right now is talking about excess post-exercise oxygen consumption. So you can say something like, in addition to burning tons of calories during this class today, which you can see on your Myzone tile, this high intensity class is going to help you burn calories after class for the next 24 to 48 hours. That's called EPOC. That's something that we want, and you're going to see that happen today, not just during class, but also after class, right? So you're validating the session with some of the benefits. You can also talk about recommendations for their next workout. This is something that I really like to do, especially in group fitness. And I know the title of this is small group training, but a lot of these can be applied to different types of formats. One thing you can definitely talk about is, what was the target zone today, or where did you spend most of your time, right? Did you spend most of your time in the yellow and the red zone? Then maybe at the end of class, you tell them, this was a really intense workout today, guys. We spent a lot of time in yellow and red. So tomorrow, if you're going to work out, try to focus more on the cooler zones like blue and green, right? So that they know that it's important to have those recovery days and to not just be going all out all the time. This also sets you up as an authority so that they know, like, oh yeah, that's right, Emily told me yesterday that I've got to have my recovery day. So they're becoming smarter about the way they're exercising. Where we'll end this presentation is with a final set of talking points about getting the most out of the Myzone app, right? And with the Myzone app, there's so many different ways to connect, to interact, and to really add value to, you know, the relationship that you're building with your client. And so example talking points would be, after class, you're going to be able to review your minute-by-minute workout on the Myzone app. So go in, see those peaks and valleys, see how you did, how many calories you burned, how many MEPs you earned. It's something that you can track over time in that calendar section. You might even take a group photo. I love this one, building community. So let's all take a group photo, guys. I'm going to send you the picture of the group photo in the actual app. I'll start a group chat and send it all to you so you can have it. Another talking point about the app is hey, if we're not already socially connected, I want to see your workouts. I want you to see mine. Let's hold each other accountable. So come up at the end of class and let's connect, right? Take every opportunity that you can to connect with a user via the Myzone app. Why? Because you're going to be able to see their workouts. They're going to be able to see yours. You're going to be able to communicate with them outside of the club and show your support and that you care by liking their workouts, commenting, and all that good stuff. So you could say something like, I'm going to request to connect with you, and then we'll be able to see all of each other's stuff. We're going to hold each other accountable because I need the accountability as much as you might as well. So some ideas there. All right, so that was a fast and furious presentation on different talking points that you can use in small group training. Now I want to mention with this, that might feel like it was a lot, right? We went through a whole list there very quickly. What my recommendation would be for you is, if you're brand new to talking about Myzone, you don't have to start with all of those at once. You can start with one or two, right? Maybe it's the intro of what the tile is, and then it's the call for the group photo at the end of class with bookmarking your class. So you've got Myzone at the beginning and Myzone at the end. And then as you become more familiar with Myzone, you can start to cue to it. You can start to add that structure in and talk about that. You can start to congratulate somebody on their recovery, which was very quick that day, that type of thing. So I hope that this was helpful. Feel free over the next few seconds to type in any questions that you have. Let's just see if there are any. Not yet. Cool. And as just a couple last minute housekeeping items, we are going to be hosting these webinars every Friday, and or most Fridays. We'll keep the schedule up so you guys know when to register and all that good stuff. But if you have any questions or topic requests, anything like that, please email powerplay@myzone.org. All right, I hope this was helpful for you. We'd love to know how you feel about it. Email us, let us know, and we will talk to you soon. All right, guys, have a good day.